Hey cats, what's happening? You know, I've been reading the comments and a few people have said, hey Itchy, you look like you're handling things well, all things considered. Well, I'll tell you what, I gotta be brutally honest. I don't pretend to be somebody that I'm not. And I won't pretend that, I'm not bothered by the passing of my wife V. I mean, half of me is missing. She was always sitting right there beside me, and now that chair stays empty. And when I sit down to eat, her chair remains empty. When I go for a ride on the bike, she's not on the back riding with me. And even when I'm out riding in my truck, she's not in my passenger seat anymore. And when I'm sitting here at my computer doing my editing or watching TV in the evening, she's no longer sitting over here doing her crochet. And in the evening, when it's time for bed, I sleep alone. Her side of the bed is empty. So yeah, half of me is gone. And that's really hard to adjust to. Really hard. I mean, I go through every day and I try to have a plan. Things to do to keep me busy. Family's there for me, friends are there for me, and they all lend support, and that's good, that helps. But there's always those dead times when there's nobody around, when I'm here by myself, and it's really so quiet in here you could hear a pin drop, and that's when things are hard, that's when I realize it. That I'm alone now. And that's a hard pill to swallow. V and I were both in previous marriages for 25 years. And those marriages didn't work out. And I won't go into any details, but there were some things lacking. Otherwise, they would have worked. So, knowing that, when we got to know each other and became a couple, we kind of made a pact to each other that we weren't going to ever do that again. We didn't want to let that happen in our lives again. And we made a commitment to each other. And we ended up getting married. We took those vows. It says in the Holy Bible that the two will become one flesh. They are no longer two, but one flesh, joined together. And I truly feel that's exactly what V and I had. There was a couple important factors in our relationship that made it work well. And I think the number one thing was trust. We vowed from the beginning to trust each other and to earn that trust with each other. We weren't going to go around doing things behind each other's back anymore. We weren't going to tell lies. We weren't going to deceive. Everything was going to be laid out on the table. And that worked well for us. That trust meant everything. That was the bond there. That when you can trust somebody, lends a whole feeling of contentment. It just gives the relationship a whole meaning of peace to know that you can trust the other person 100%. I knew when she went out shopping exactly what she was doing. There was no doubt in my mind that she was deceiving me or doing something, that she didn't want me to know about. The only thing she would do that she didn't want me to know about is when she was buying me stuff that she didn't want me to know what she was up to. I think the second most important part of our relationship was compromise. You know, a compromise where both parties here, her and I, had a little give and take. I had to give up things for her, but on the same token, she gave up things for me, and we met in the middle, and it worked really well. You know, there were things she enjoyed doing that I went along with her, and yet there were things that I enjoyed doing that she joined me in doing. There were things that I gave up because I knew she didn't like to do, and there were things that she gave up that she knew that I didn't like. So there was compromise there. We were always working together as a team. You know, the two became one, and that's exactly the way it was in our relationship. So now, with part of that flesh removed from me, with her passing, I'm just greatly grieved. And it's something that's impossible to ignore. It's something that's impossible to just, oh, you'll get over it. You don't get over it. You'd never do. I mean, some of you can share that with me. You know, you're there. You've been there. And you've been there a lot longer than I have. Some of you, I know years have gone by, and you still feel that compassion. You still miss that person deeply. So, yeah, how am I doing? I'm doing the best that I can. And that's not easy. But I appreciate the support I get. I appreciate my family. I appreciate my loved ones, my friends, all those who support me and care for me. It all means a lot. I even had the funeral home call me today and lend a lot of support. I mean, they were just so nice and pleasant, you know, just, it's going on 3 months now. It's going on 3 months. I think Monday next week will be 3 months has passed. And they just called me, and they want me to come in there next week on Monday and just sit down with them and talk for a little bit. And, you know, that means a lot to me too, their support. So I don't mean for this whole video to be, you know, Debbie Downer or, you know, me crying to you. But I just want you to understand, you know, where my heart is and where I stand every day. But I have been involved in some projects, and I got some new projects that I'm going to do, so let me show you that. Oh. I showed you the little camera that my daughter bought for me. Well, I rigged it up out here. I made a box for it and a socket, and I have that plugged in where it works all the time now. So anybody that would come up here on the front steps and come to the front door are totally visible on my camera now, and it stays on 24/7, so I can access it all the time now. And that's pretty cool. The only thing I'm going to do now is, you see it's white and it kind of sticks out. It becomes like a focal point. So I am going to paint the camera itself. You know, I'll tape off the lens, but the camera itself and inside the box, the receptacle and everything, I'll spray paint that with some flat black paint, and that will knock it out so your eye doesn't go towards that white up there in the corner. My son came over yesterday and spent the day here with me, and we worked out here in the garage. What I wanted to do was, I had electrical outlet there in the corner of the workbench. Over beside the toolbox, I have an outlet in front of the truck, another one down at that end, and one over by V's car. But from that corner all the way over to there, there's no electrical outlets. And I would often open this garage door, and you know, so I'd have to run an extension cord from one of these other remote plugs and run it out into the driveway if I wanted to put the battery charger on the tractor, if I wanted to run my skill saw or something and I didn't want sawdust all over the garage, I could do it. Anyway, my son came over and he hooked up an electrical outlet here, GFI, for me, and wired that in. He hardwired it into the circuit up there where the garage door opener was. The other thing that was happening in here was, you know, these garage door openers have a light there on the right hand side. There's a light, and when the garage door opens, the light comes on, and it stays on for probably about 10 minutes. Gives you plenty of time to get out of your car at night and make your way out of the garage before it automatically shuts off. That light would flicker and go off, and it wouldn't stay on, and I changed the bulb, and it would stay on for a while, then it would flicker and go off, and then it would come back on again. He got up there and he said the problem was in the socket itself, and he worked on it with some sandpaper and a screwdriver, and he got it where it works now. So I was pretty happy that he stopped over and helped me, because he's an electrician, so the job was done right. I didn't have to worry that I wasn't doing something correctly. It was all done to code, and he was able to fix my light fixture up there too. So that was a good thing. The other thing I think I'm going to start working on, the old dirt bike, the 175. It's going to need parts. It's definitely going to need some parts, and if I can find the parts, we can fix it, and I'm pretty confident that we can find the parts. Some of the main pieces we're going to need are over on this side. The shifter linkage is broken on the inside there, so my son and I did look online, and well, on eBay, and actually I can buy the whole side of that case with all the pieces and parts in it for like 40 bucks. So, you know, but before I do that, I want to, you know, pull that side of the case off and see exactly what we're going to need there to make sure that we're getting the right things. If we can fix that, we can get it running. I mean, the engine ran when it was parked here. You just couldn't shift it anymore. The shifter linkage was broken in there. So that should be a fun project. And I think it's in fairly good shape where I can clean it up and polish it a little bit, put some paint on it where it's needed, and it should look like a new bike again. I just got to figure out how to get it outside. I mean, I have a basement door here that I can go out. And it comes in this way, but I'm going to need help getting it up the steps. I see my goat skull got knocked down by the wind. I'll just put it there for now. So yeah, I'll get the Yamaha out of the basement, up the steps. I have to have a hand doing that so I don't hurt myself. It would be just like me to try to do it by myself, but I don't know. There's a 50-50 chance that I might not be able to get it up out of there by myself, and it'd be a lot better if I had an extra hand. I'll get it out in the garage where I can put it on my motorcycle lift, get it up where I can work on it, and dig in. And I think my son's eager to help me on that too as I need it, so it'll be a fun project. Well, the temperature's up this week. It's about 45 degrees today. In Ohio, though, there's always that chill. There's a lot of humidity in the air, winter and summer. So you can feel that moisture in the air. It's like taking a cold shower. No, it's not raining or anything, but it's just a very damp, cold air. There's a chill factor, always that way in Ohio. We don't have the dry heat or the dry cold like they got out west. But it's a nice day. The sun has been kind of popping in and out here, so it's really comfortable out in the man cave. I've been working out there this morning on some different projects, and I love having that facility there where I can go out and work and be comfortable and get into some dirtier jobs that I can't do in the house. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and join us on this ride. And until next time, cats, ride hard and die free.